he's gonna stop when we screw up, whatever.
Okay.
Screw up, so
She's not, I am.
So when we're doing the interview, you want to look at my mom and just have a conversation with her.
Yeah, just tell
Oh,
me.
so don't look at the
No,
camera.
don't look at the
Oh,
camera, just look
okay.
here.
Oh, okay. I wondered
Kinda
about
like,
that.
News and 60 Minutes and stuff. They're always looking at the
Oh, that's true.
host or the person interviewing the subject.
Okay.
So,
My name is Edie Leffingwell, and I've been asked to tell you a little bit about Adventures in Learning and Shepherd Center. I first became involved when I got up the nerve. I drove around the block 3 times to ask if I could deliver Meals on Wheels. And when I went in, I thought Deb, who is the manager of volunteers, was just going to hug me to death. She said, "Oh, can you come Monday?" So I went Monday and delivered a route, and when I came back, she said, "Do you think you could come Friday and help with the registration for Adventures in Learning?" So I thought, why not? So I went thinking it was for children. And when I got there, there were adults just swarming all through the halls and lining up to register, chatting and talking to one another and smiling. And so Deb says, "Will you help with the registration? But if you see anything that needs to be done and you can do it, do it." And so I started helping take people to their rooms. Then they asked me if I would go in the travelogue and help set up the computer and the projector. So I did that and listened to the travelogue. They have a travelogue every Friday. Then I went the next hour and visited as many classes as I could, and I was absolutely astounded at what they have. There's arts and crafts, there's bridge, there's line dancing, health enrichment, and we always have some series. I think when I first started, one of the series was the Civil War, and we had people coming in from all over for that series. So I got started that way and then just gradually began to do, as Deb said, anything that needed to be done. And I discovered that I'd kind of found my niche, because when I retired, I was a little bit at loose ends, and I tried several places that just didn't feel like I fit in. But when I got to Adventures, it was just a really good fit. And I began telling all my friends about it and how it had changed my life. And now I actually tell people it changed my identity. Because before, when people would ask me what I did, I would say, well, I get up in the morning and walk my dog and read the paper and maybe go to a movie or something. And now I say, oh gosh, I get up in the morning and I start seeing what I can do to get ready for Friday for Adventures. And it's just the most wonderful thing. And it literally has changed who I am. I'm happier now. I get out and walk more. I have more friends. I'm smarter, because every Friday at every class I learn something. And I encourage whoever's listening to this to come on Fridays to Adventures in Learning.
I'm going to move the microphone a little bit. It sounds really good, but just sometimes.
wonderful.
I kept moving my head down. Maybe that was
I
it.
think that was it peaks a little bit, but it sounds great. There were just a few times where it kind
You
of,
did great.
yeah.
You covered all my questions.
Oh,
Yeah, sound like a pro.
oh. Well, when you talk about something you love, it's not hard.
Yeah. So yeah, I think one of the times when you went down, it just kind of popped a little bit, but
Oh,
it's fine.
well, of course you can fix that.
That's why I have 2 microphones.
Yeah, oh, now we know.
Yeah. All right, well, go ahead. If you're-
Well, she pretty much covered most of what she talked about what advice would you give to others, and you just talked about how it changed your life and the benefits. Do you have any other benefits, like your health is better maybe, or your exercise, you have more?
Oh, yeah, I think that, mostly moving around at Adventures. But
and
yeah.
what's the upcoming programs that you
Okay.
that you designed for young people? You said
Right, I wondered if I should cover that or if this was just a generic.
about how youth is our future, or however you were going to.
Yeah, okay.
So you want to touch on that?
She there's always, in
Yeah.
addition to everything else, there's a theme. And so,
Mm-hmm.
what's the current?
Yeah, the current theme, yeah, you can talk about the
Okay.
You got to plan.
sessions theme.
Yeah.
I mean, the theme of it and that you planned it and who you're gonna have.
Okay.
Go through a little bit of that.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about Adventures. First, you should know that we're a interfaith, multicultural group, and we're community-based, and we're sponsored by Shepherd Center. And everybody is welcome. We say older adults, but we sort of look for people that are midlife to older. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about our programs. We always have 2 special series. And coming up in January, we're going to continue our series on homegrown companies. We've had people like the owners of Belfonte, and then we're going to have H&R Block and a number of other homegrown companies this January. And I've been lucky enough to plan a series that we're calling Our Youth, Our Future. And we're trying to think about the youth who are wanting to have control of their own destiny. They want to be in programs where they feel safe and where they feel like they can control what life is going to be like when they grow up. I think our first series, which is January the 4th on a Friday, you be there at 9 o'clock, is called Boys Grow. And these young men have started out sort of like helping the founder, John Gordon, with a little garden, and then it got bigger and bigger, and now they're incorporated, and every summer they have this garden, and now they sell salsa and ketchup that they make themselves. And so we're going to have some of their products there. You need to be sure and come. And then we're going to have, it's called Musical Bridges, and it's sponsored by the UMKC Conservatory of Music, and we hope to have one of their students there. We're going to have the Boys and Girls Club. We're going to have Urban Rangers, and you're not going to believe what these young men do. And I've been promised there will be some Rangers there in uniform who will talk about their program and the mentoring that they so much desire and need. We're going to have a robot, the Metro Homeschool Robotics team that has won several prizes is going to be there, and I'm told they're bringing a robot. And let me see, what else? We're going to have, I should have brought my list. There are 10 series, and they all have to do with youth. Sometimes if the young people aren't able to get out of school, we're going to have a PowerPoint demonstration or something. Oh, and I thought we're going to have a young man named Blaine Townsend. You might have read about him in the Kansas City Star. He lives in Smithville, goes to Smithville High School, and he developed a math application that is primarily for younger students. And the Star actually showed a picture of him with 5th graders leaning over helping these young people. And their teacher says they learn more from his math application than anything she could do on the blackboard. So he's going to be there and demonstrate that. We always have all kinds of other classes, like I said, health enrichment, line dancing. I'm not thinking of all of them now, but there are at least 3, sometimes 4 classes every hour. And we start at 9 o'clock and come at 8:30 and have coffee and snacks. And then we have lunch after the 12 o'clock hour, after the 11 o'clock hour finishes. And at lunch we have a noon forum speaker always. We've had the mayor, the head of the fire department, all of the people from KMBC and KCPT, a lot of them have come to speak, and then we have a wonderful lunch. If you come for the first time, you need to be sure and tell the registration that Edie told you the first time is free. You don't have to pay. Then if you keep coming back, we want you to pay $15 for the 10-week series. Now think about that, $1.50 for all that you get every Friday, all those classes. And then the lunch is $7.50. So again, I encourage you to come, and we'll be there waiting for you.
So you talked about the benefits to you and how it changed your feeling about yourself. How do your children feel about you now?
My children are delighted because they can see that I'm happier. And part of the business about, I gradually told you I started out sort of with helping the Travelog, and now my primary responsibility is the equipment. And so I now have a family friend, her name is Carla Grant, that comes and helps with the equipment, and we cart it all over the place and set it up, and more of the classes require equipment. They either have an audio-visual presentation or just a PowerPoint. And I'm getting to use some of my skills that I had sort of forgotten about or thought I wouldn't ever be using again. And I know my kids love that because I got an iPhone after that, and now we text one another and do all those things that they thought I was never going to catch on to, but I can do now. And they, yes, they're happier, and I'm healthier, and you know, kids like that when they think mom's happier and healthier. And so yes, they do like that, and I like it. I like me better. So.
I love it. That's good.
Good.
Oh, that's great. Do you have anything else you think?
Do you want to do the intro again, just to have it twice, just kind of,
Oh, you mean when she tells who she is?
yeah, just do that part. It's always good to have two of them.
Okay, you want to know your name and how you got involved. That part, right? You want to do what you did. Right?
My name is Edie Leffingwell, and I've been asked to speak to you about a program called Adventures in Learning, which is sponsored by the Shepherd Center, one of many programs sponsored by the Shepherd Center. I first got involved when I got the nerve to go and see if I could drive for Meals on Wheels. I drove around the block 3 times before I went in, and then they were so glad to see me, I thought Deb, the manager of volunteers, was just going to hug me to death. And she says, "Can you come Monday?" So I went Monday and delivered Meals on Wheels, and I haven't missed a Monday since. And then when I came back, she says, "Do you think you could come Friday and help with the registration for Adventures in Learning?" Now, I thought it was for children. When I got there, there were all of these smiling older adults wandering through the halls, lining up to register, chatting and being happy. And so I saw right away, oh, this is great. These are older people. So I started helping. Deb said, now if you see something that needs to be done and you can do it, do it. So that's the way I started, helping people find a place where their class was. And then I went in and helped a fellow named Dow Harris, who has the Travelog series, helped him set up the projector and the computer. And then like the next hour, I went from class to class seeing if I could help, and I would sit down and listen, and I was just astounded at all of the classes. We have 3 or 4 every hour, and we start at 9, and you think about it, from 9 till 12, we get in a lot of classes, and they're all absolutely wonderful. Did I cover it?
How good is she?
Natural.
Oh, gosh. See, when you taught, now I wrote out a speech, and I tried to stand and read it, and I'm just shaking. And but if you just conversation, see, you can do okay.
It was wonderful. Now, can we see it? Is there a way we can see how,
Yeah.
if there's anything you want to go over?
Sure.
Can I take this?